according to TrueAchievements.com, Crash Bandicoot's trilogy, which of course is the Insane Trilogy that just released into Xbox Game Pass, has seen, check this out, a 2,808% increase of players for a game that's considerably old. That is an incredible. Again, I am never been the biggest Crash fan. I don't like the way that the camera angle is behind him. It's very 90s-esque, and it's just never sat well with me. It's fine. But a lot of people are digging this game. Now, this came obviously it released into Game Pass. It's a bit old. It is a remake of the trilogy, and it was really well done. But this just again, just some context to why I wanted to talk about how Xbox Game Pass subscribers continue to win. Another game that is stunning, that I can guarantee you poll 100 people and maybe 50 of those people either didn't hear about the game or even tried it, and that's Mafia. The Mafia remake, I'm here to tell you folks, is so freaking good. I've already beaten it, but I've been watching Nico put trailer after trailer after trailer of gameplay. I downloaded it this morning. I just started it again. It is that great of a remake. I would even dare say that it is as good as Resident Evil 2 remake was. It's stunning. It is absolutely gorgeous to look at, even better to play. Let's talk about Game Pass, because again, it seems to be the butt, if you will, of conversation for people that don't have it versus the actual people who subscribe to it. Let's talk about it.
I mean, it's obviously been clear for a long time now that Game Pass is special, right? It's not the games with gold, is not the PlayStation Plus Premium and all these other shit that you just get these random games, right? Game Pass, because of the it's an extra, right? It's an extra. It's something that you go and you subscribe to separately. And Xbox has put so much investment in it, right? They believed in it, and they understand that because of the economy and the lack of funds that are available to people to just use however they want, um, that if they want gaming to continue in a meaningful way, there needs to be a way for players to enjoy games that don't cost them 100 to 200 or $300 a month to enjoy, right? Like it's just not feasible for a lot of people. And the reality is that they took a big risk making Game Pass. They took a big risk because it could have took away from their money and their sales. They didn't know how it was going to work out, but it's clear that it does. It's clear that the games that come to the service benefit, the developers benefit, and the players benefit, man. For $20 a month, you get to get all of these games. It's insane. It's insane what we get. And Microsoft going ahead and taking all of their first party games, regardless of how big of a seller it is, a la Call of Duty, they're still taking those games, putting them into Game Pass so that the the people who support them benefit, right? And that's the shit that I feel like makes it so disingenuine, the takes that are out there where people come and try to go at Game Pass as if it's not some like a gift. You know what I'm saying? Like it really is, bro. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a quote unquote hardcore gamer and you really want to play a lot of different games, like typically you're paying a couple hundred, few $100 a month on this hobby, right? Because it's just what it is. This is if you got like 3 games that come out this month that you want, you're gonna spend 200 and $20 with tax, right? Like it's
That's
just
just on the regular edition. What if see you want the extra edition? Let's say you want to play a game. Well, let's say there's 3 games that are coming out and you want that 3-day early access. Each of those games are $80 or more. Just keep doing the math.
yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the point, right? Like it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense for people to want to want to act like having this is some type of stupid thing to have or a waste to have. That makes absolutely no sense. And the people who feel that way, I mean, you have your own opinion. I don't agree with it. I don't think it makes any sense to try to say that Game Pass doesn't work. The only way Game Pass doesn't work is if you're not someone who's interested in gaming at multiple games. You know what I'm saying? If you're a one and done person where you're like, I just want to play Fortnite forever, then yeah, maybe it doesn't make any sense for you to subscribe to a streaming service that has multiple games, right? But if you want to experience games, then this is where you gotta be, right? It just makes sense. And especially if you're an Xbox dude, right? Like if you're an Xbox head, why not? Right? It's funny because even better would be is if you're a PlayStation dude who has an Xbox,
Yep.
it makes even more sense to have it because then you just pay $20 and you get everything, whatever Xbox comes out with, instead of worrying about buying those 3 games you were gonna spend the $220 anyway, right? Just subscribe and you get so much more, and it just makes sense. And the fact that we see the numbers going up, Crash Bandicoot's an old game, right? It's been out for a little while now, the trilogy that they remastered, right? And look at the jump in it, right? It was before Game Pass, it was much lower. After Game Pass, you got a 2,800 percent increase, right? That is phenomenal, right? That brings games back to life. That brings games back into the zeitgeist,
It
right? When you
does.
see so many people playing Crash and talking about Crash, right? What happens? They spread that out, and then non-subscribers, they say, "Oh man, I didn't even realize that game came out," or "I forgot that game came out. I never got around to getting it. Let me go buy it." People on other systems, Crash is everywhere, right? You get the benefit of other people seeing it and say, "Oh shit, yeah, that's right. That game came out. Let me go buy it." Right? It allows games to live on, right? Without that crazy 6-week window that basically if your game's not a hit in 6 weeks, it's done forever, right? This lets games live on. And that is huge. And for devs, we see it all the time. They come out and they love it. Obviously, there's a like there are certain third party indie devs, right, who poo-poo it, right, who don't like it, or third party publisher indie devs. I mean, like indie publishers, right,
Right.
who are publishing indie games that don't like it, right? And the reason why they don't like it, I mean, just got to call a spade, is that number one, Xbox didn't take their game in the Game Pass.
I
Number
mean, that's
two,
usually a lot of the times the case. Yeah.
yeah, because that's one of the things they said. It makes it a case of the have and the have-nots. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
remember, there was like a one of the devs came out and said that, and it's like, okay, so you're pissed because Xbox won't just give you money for your game because they're not just giving it to everyone that exists. They're actually checking and making sure that the game fits in the catalog, right? It's not about just giving it out. It's about what's best for the Xbox players and what is best for the way that they fill out all the different genres they have, right? Like they want to make sure everything is covered. They want to make sure that the certain quality bar is there. Like they're making this stuff um where you don't have to think about Game Pass being filled with nonsense, right? Like it's always of a certain caliber. Now, it might be not be a game for you because it might not be the genre that you like or the style of game that you like, but the people who do like that style or do like that genre are typically very happy with the games they're getting because they're of a higher caliber, right? They're better games, right? And we see it time and time again. This guy, Mike Rose, right? He's been shouting it from the rooftops for years, for
Yeah.
years. He's the guy who publishes the game Descenders, which is that bike game, right?
And they have a
The
new one already
Yep.
confirmed.
Next one is coming to Game Pass day and date, right? But he literally just posted, like, to those people who are saying that Game Pass is bad, like they literally cover the cost for
Yep.
some of these smaller, if you're it's a smaller game, right? Obviously not the cost for like these major big games, but for a smaller game, they cover the cost of development plus more, and you're free to sell it anywhere you want. Like it makes no sense. He literally said that if you're one of those people who are poo-pooing Game Pass, he said something like get in a box or something like like just go and like, just shut up, right? Like, that's pretty much what he was saying. Because it just doesn't make sense. Obviously, if you're not part of it, if you're not chosen, then you're gonna hate on it, right? Then you're gonna hate on it. But outside of that, man, Game Pass has done nothing but help the industry. It helps developers make money first, like have a fail safe, right? And it still allows them to go sell it everywhere. And it allows gamers who are actual gamers who love to play different stuff when they can, right? It's allowing them to do this without having to come out of pocket
No, it's fine.
every time another
Listen,
game comes out.
can I add some
You know what I'm saying?
context? You mentioned
Sure,
Mike
absolutely.
Rose. Well,
Yes, sir.
I mentioned earlier Nico Molior, right? So Nico,
Yep.
great community member, fun guy to follow. You should follow him. It's at Nico. I'll spell it for you. It's Mueller. Puts a lot of gameplay, has a lot of great commentary, great community member. Well, he says, Mike Rose, a developer, if you post Game Pass is bad for devs, you have zero clue on how this industry works. That's coming from Mike Rose himself. But he added more context to this. And this is from the official Mike Rose Twitter account. If you don't know who he is the lead dev over at the game The Descender, something that my nephew Tyler plays on a crazy basis. He loves it. He loves crashing. He's 15. Kids like crashing. That's what they do, right? Okay, fine. But they already have a new game coming out that's going to have you on a skateboard, one of those big old skateboards, and obviously you're going to be snowboarding. The game looks dope. I cannot wait. Already confirmed for Xbox Game Pass. It's dope. Well, here is what Mike Rose actually had to say, just to give some context to what C-Money is talking about. He says this: I've said this before, but Game Pass is guaranteeing success for dozens of devs every single month by paying them their entire dev cost and then some on day one. Anyone tweeting Game Pass is bad for devs has zero clue about how this industry works and should get in a bin.
Get in a bin. There you go. Told you, you ain't messing around, yo.
There you go.
You ain't messing around, but it's the truth, right? It's the truth. And like these fake narratives that are out there are just all BS. I mean, and we see it time and time again. It's frankly, it's tiring, right? It's tiring to see these people do it, right? And it's just nonstop, right? So we have something that's phenomenal, right? We have something that's phenomenal, which is Game Pass. Yet people still want to like cry about the dumbest crap ever, right? Like they just want to cry and try to doom and gloom, and it's so annoying, right? It's so annoying. I mean, obviously, I think we're gonna talk about a little later the Jez thing that he wrote to kind of debunk it. I don't know if you're
Yeah.
if you're
We're
planning
gonna.
to talk about
That's the next topic. But I have some
Okay.
more additional context regarding Game Pass. Again, this is a
Yep.
shorter show. We have two major topics. Only because I've been seeing a certain rhetoric of Game Pass bad. We had to talk about it because there's a lot of
Yeah.
actual little tidbits of Game Pass news. Now, specifically going back to what you said about the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, right? Let's
Yep.
just go and pull the numbers here. So it's up over 2,800% of players. It's in Game Pass. Just for context, this game released, C-Money, June 29th, 2018. We are in 2024. That game is over 6 years old, and somehow, some way, in the so-called, service that no one cares about, and that is bad for gamers and bad for the industry, a 2,800% increase in players. That should tell you instantly that this service is not only making bank on how many people are subscribing, plus new subscribers, but how many people are actually playing the games that are in there.